Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I'm going to be actually starting the process of building the new woodshed. And I guess I've already started it by leveling the pad and drilling the post holes in their final locations. But today, we're going to add the first pieces of wood to this pole barn so that it looks like something. So we've got a set corner post, and I'm going to be doing every bit of this that it would appear by myself. So there are a few challenges in that I've got to solve, but should be doable. I'm gonna go get some concrete and then I'll be right back and we'll get started. The first challenge here will be standing up the post. If I had bought 4x4s, 12 foot long from Lowe's or Home Depot, I would just set them there and just walk them up and drop them in the hole by hand. But these are oak 6x6s and they are 14 foot long. So they're gonna be heavy enough. I think it would be a struggle to just walk them in that way. So I'm gonna try to just set the butt end on the hole and then lift the other end and see if I can get it to just drop in without any kind of chains or rigging on the tractor. I don't know if this makes sense or not, but my thought is that if I just lift the far end, rather than fall in the hole whenever I get it up higher, it might try to slide. Put the machine there so it can't slide past the hole. We're going to make a kickstand to level this with. We're going to do that by putting a single screw first into this board so that it can still swing like this to find level. Now you might have noticed that my beams are creosote covered on two sides and they're not covered on the other two sides. So I'm facing the creosote sides out towards the weather. Even though I'll end up treating all sides, I want the heavier, more permanent treatment going out. And if you're new here, I've got a bunch of videos on where I got these beams and how I cut them myself. So now you can see I can lean it out until that hits. If that was level, and then I can just work it back in. I think I'll put another one going this way. It's not my intention to make bracing like this for every beam. Once the first beam is set, my plan is to tie it to the beam next to it. And especially once you have two, you can start working off of them that way, but we'll see as we go. And we'll put a level on it this way. I'm a little bit sloppy with the way I'm doing this because of the type of building it is. And because I made a mistake in step one, which was the way I squared up my holes, but didn't leave the batter boards outside that I could square off of. But I have 100% confidence that this is going to end up being good enough for me. Once the post is level, we're going to add more screws to it so it can't pivot. I know I'm going to hear some comments saying these posts are going to rot off at ground level. Now, two sides are coated in creosote. The other two sides I'm going to spray with Flex Seal to get a moisture lock where this post enters the concrete and where we might be most likely to have standing water. Our post is straight vertical. We've protected the bottom. Time for concrete. So after spraying this post, I went around and sprayed all the rest. Then I gave it a little bit of time to dry. We're getting a little later in the evening now, but I think we've still got time to finish it up. So then I debated, do I just dump the bags in there and add water, or do I mix it in a bucket? I think I'm gonna start off mixing it in a bucket. We'll see how it goes. My buddy Lucas from Peaks Peak said get the red bags, fast setting concrete mix. Set post without mixing. Boy, it says it right on the bag, you can do it. If it didn't say it right on the bag, I would continue mixing it in a bucket like I've always done. But, I mean, if that instruction's good enough for them, I guess it's good enough for me. The bag tells you that in 20 to 40 minutes, this concrete will be dry. Lucas told me that within 30 to 40 minutes, his posts were rock solid. When I did some searches on how many concrete bags I would need, I put in the size of my post hole, put in the size of my post, and it said I would need 57 bags. That's too much. I don't see any reason to buy that much concrete. So what I'm going to do is fill these holes in the rest of the way with rock. I bought 3 bags per hole, so I bought 24 $6 bags. It cost me $200 for the concrete. They're actually like $6.50, and with tax it was just about $200. And that's putting 150 pounds of concrete mix, so about 200 pounds with the water, about 200 pounds of concrete on each post. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 bags next to each post so that I'm ready. And then by the time I get that done, go up and get a drink of water, this will probably be pretty much set up, and we'll start squaring the next post. And I might still use some legs like this. I'm undecided. We'll see how it goes. But I'm also, once this is mostly set, I'm going to leave these legs on it, and I'm going to run a 2x4 from here over to there to kind of square the post to each other. This is where you could use an extra hand if you had one, but I don't. Let's see, we're only looking really at one direction right now. We can still shift it the other way. Putting this board right here keeps us straight this way. The post can't fall that way or this way, but it could still move this way when I pour the concrete in. So I'll need one board diagonal down from this to hold this post still. Once this one's set, then that one I can brace this way. Once I have 3, every single one of these can be braced forward and back, left and right, off of another post if I want. I think that'll be easier. So my hose won't quite reach all the way down, but you know, this told me an amount of water to use per bag. So why not use this bucket to dial in close to the right amount of water? So I have 4 posts done and 4 to go, and I would have time to finish this before dark, but I don't have lumber to finish it before dark because I had this stack of 10.5 foot 2x that I was planning to use for this, and this was the only gap that those would span. All the rest of them are too long, and I want to tie them to each other because when you tie the posts to each other, it helps to square them with each other. And so I think it's worth it to run over to Lowe's, probably Home Depot, see what time it is. It's 8 o'clock. I can be there back by 9:30. I'll probably be out here till 11:30, but we're gonna do a little work in the dark tonight. All right, I am back with the lumber. I got some lights. We'll put these on a lower setting. Got 2 of them, know how to do the job. As I was driving out there, I was thinking, is this worth it? You know, as far as making sure I get this done tonight and making that drive, because I could just eyeball this to square, put those legs on it, concrete it in, save myself about $50 in lumber and a bunch of driving. I decided it is worth it. As far as making sure I get it done tonight, I have rock being delivered tomorrow and I want this done for that. And as far as getting the extra lumber, I really do think it'll be worthwhile because the more I can square these up, the better. It's not gonna be perfect, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to be pretty good. I started off holding these up while I ran the screws, and after I got going a little bit, I realized it was worth a little bit of time to put a clamp on this, and that will just kind of hold everything, basically gives me an extra set of hands while I'm working. As I said earlier, this is a little bit repetitive. I'm not gonna film it all. I'll be back for the wrap up when it's done. So I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but all 8 posts are up. The first 2 on the back row are just a little bit twisted, enough that you can see it and that the board didn't pull down flat. And there's always room to do a better job. But once it's all done, I'll never think about it again. And I'm really happy with the progress I made today. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I have rock being brought in. Most of those holes filled all the way up. A couple of them have a foot or so left. And I'll fill that in with rock whenever I rock this whole floor. I'm gonna rock the road out so it connects to the road around the Quonset hut, and all the space in between will all be rock. I'm excited about that and excited about the progress I made. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.